Hello, we are Aletheia Nails. Our name is Greek for Temple of Truth, and truth, in Greek connotation, means having the secret revealed. The flyer series, Returning to Father's Principle, is made with the hope that all blessed families can unite again under Father's original purpose. Today's topic is, did you know? There is an appearing herd who does not think of God as a concept, but lives feeling Him. How does everyone feel hearing this topic? There may be some that say that they have a lot of experiences feeling God's presence directly in their life of faith. Others may say that they are losing the presence of God within their busy lives, but say that they are at least attending service. Another might question whether there is really a herd of people who are living with God in their lives. What we can say clearly, though, is that God is not conceptual. God, who created this universe and human beings, is sad when we are sad, happy when we are happy, and He desires to experience all of our emotions with us. God is our true parent. If the human fall did not occur, we would have lived with God in this way, sharing all of our experiences with Him. Now we would like to take a look, through the Word, at what kind of a path the original path was for us. In the Divine Principle, it states, all the sensitivities of a spirit are cultivated through the reciprocal relationship with the physical self during earthly life. Therefore, only when a person reaches perfection and is totally immersed in the love of God while on earth can he fully delight in the love of God as a spirit after his death. All the qualities of the spirit self are developed while it abides in the physical self. Sinful conduct during earthly life aggravates evil and ugliness in the spirit of a fallen person, while the redemption of sins granted during earthly life opens the way for its spirit to become good. By feeling God's love in our physical life can we become perfect in this physical world. Likewise, when we can embody God's love on earth, we can, for the first time, embody God's love in the spirit world. Also, the way for the spirit self to become good is through redemption during the time in the physical world. All of this emphasizes how important our lives are on earth are. If we compare the history of the universe, a human life on earth is merely 100 years. It's a period that will fly by within the blink of an eye. But we must understand how critical this period of time is for us. In the Bible, there is this verse, and I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Binding and loosing in the physical world will bind and loose in heaven. In other words, if heaven is not created in the physical world, there is no world of heaven in heaven. True Father had his Songwa before Foundation Day. Some believers believe that True Father went to the spirit world to liberate both the physical and spiritual worlds. But as the Divine Principle in the Bible describes, unless things are solved in the physical world, it is not solved in the spiritual world. If that is the case, was True Father really supposed to pass away right before Foundation Day? Did True Father pass on with joy of being victorious? Shouldn't now be the time for us to seriously ask such a question? let us look at an excerpt from one of Father's words. True Father said, "God is not a conceptual existence, but He is an empirical existence. We call God, considering Him as only a subject figure in a religion. However, the reality is vastly different. God is the subject of your life, and in fact, the subject of your daily life, as well as the subject of your ideal. An absolute figure in a herd who lives with this kind of relationship must appear in the last days, or else the world will enter its last crisis. We must be able to call God as our Father through our deepest hearts. Not a conceptual understanding that God is our Father, but we must be able to feel this truth soaking into our bodies and minds. There has to be some kind of providential form that must appear in order to feel this experience. Currently, how many of us feel as though we are living with God in our daily lives? There are people who have testimonies of feeling God. That is respectable, and it is important to be able to feel God that closely at one point in time. But human beings are originally supposed to live every day feeling the absolute God within themselves. And we are to live a life feeling that God will absolutely answer if we ask. Therefore, the main point from this issue of our flyer is that unless we feel God's love on earth, God's love cannot be breathed in the spirit world. Thus, a world of heaven and heaven cannot exist. That is the principle's central focus. The last days is the time when there definitely will appear a herd of herds that will live with God. Not conceptually, but live with God soaked into the mind and body, feeling His presence. Did you know? True Father left behind such a herd. There is an appearing herd that is living that ideal relationship with God in their daily lives. We are finally entering the age of the last days, and we are in the midst of the completed Testament age, where we have received the second advent of the Messiah. This age is a time of attendance, where we live attending the true parents who stand in the position before the human fall. We are in a time where we can live with Father intimately, allowing our invisible God to dwell on this earth as we live our lives with Him. We are in such a providential time right now. Let us return to Father's principle. The purpose of the principle is for the completion of the purpose of creation. Only in this physical world can we practice true love and realize a true family. A true family receives and lives together with God in True Father. True Father discussed this topic at the Cosmic Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a historic time of great cosmic transition. It is a time for a great cosmic revolution to change history, to unite the spiritual and physical worlds, and to create the ideal kingdom of heaven that God has longed for since the beginning of time. The contents from this speech are not words that True Father only mentioned at assemblies. He would constantly talk about this during holy days and in daily hundokeis. True Father read this speech many times, and he said how this speech proclaims the final completion of the history of the providence of restoration. We believe that everyone should return to having a humble heart, reread the assembly speech, and seek through prayer what the truth is behind this speech. The divine principle also discusses that the conflict in understanding God resulted from viewing God conceptually rather than feeling and experiencing Him. True Father is the last Messiah. He left the fallen humankind the answer to receive complete salvation. The herd that has received this salvation are the people whom are living with God in their hearts during their earthly lives. The appearance of this herd is the proof and the testimony that True Father is indeed the true Messiah and the key to begin the substantial Choyuguk. True Father said during the movement's early pioneering days that heaven can be created in 3 years. He left us the path to realize the way to create heaven. Did you know there is an appearing herd who does not think of God as a concept but lives feeling Him? We pray that this flyer will be a positive guide to everyone's practice of faith. Thank you for watching.